64 Tacos Podcasts presents Is This Song Good? This is episode 69, Oscar's Best Song Nominations.
Welcome back to another 64 Tacos podcast. This is the Is This Song Good podcast. We're doing things a little bit different this time. Instead of one or each of us picking a song, we're just going to discuss the 5 songs for the Oscars this year, the 2023 Academy Award Oscars show. We're going to discuss these a little bit, and then we may discuss some other songs as well, but we'll get to that in a moment. So the 5 songs that were nominated were Applause by Sophia Carson, and this is from Tell It Like a Woman. Wait, that's not the movie, right? Is that the movie?
I think it is.
I believe it is.
That's the movie. Okay. Then we've got Lady Gaga's Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick. And then we have Rihanna with Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And then we have Natu Natu by
Say the names.
M. Kiravani and Chandra Bose, featuring Rahul Sipligunj and Kala Barava.
That was perfect.
Okay.
And accurate, I believe.
That is from the movie RRR, or is it?
I have no idea. I've heard it said as RRR.
It is on Netflix if you guys are interested, but I have not watched it.
I might actually have to watch that one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to too, based on this song. But anyway, the last song in this list is This Is a Life by Sun Lux, featuring Mitski and David Byrne from the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, what do you guys think about these songs? Do any of them particularly stand out as enjoyable to you?
I put these into kind of 2 categories. There's the 3 like pop ballads.
Mm-hmm.
Applause, Hold My Hand, and Lift Me Up.
Yep. And then there's the 2 slightly more interesting ones. As far as the pop ballads, I really did not like Applause. It uses that sort of that pop cutesy half baby voice, breathy voice that I really dislike. That's just like a personal preference, but
and I knew that. Yeah,
Daddy.
I knew that listening to it that it was going to irritate you, and so that was really the only thing that made me happy about listening to that.
And also one thing I know about this song is that it was written by Diane Warren, who also wrote the Don't Want to Close My Eyes or Don't Want to Miss a Thing song from Armageddon.
Oh, the Aerosmith song.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's been nominated 14 times and never won. So we'll see if she breaks her streak.
Mm-hmm.
I hope not.
I doubt it.
I didn't mind Hold My Hand. It's the only movie I saw to this point, Top Gun Maverick. I didn't mind it, but the problem is when I think of Top Gun, the only song that I need is Berlin's Take My Breath Away. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All its 80s glory. And
which was in the movie.
Yeah.
Not as good.
Why didn't they nominate?
So why didn't they nominate that one?
Well, that's the weird thing. This goes with the whole pop song thing. I don't really like it when movies write an original pop song just to play during the credits. It just it doesn't really work for me that well. Use a known song that's relevant, or just have score, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just my thoughts on it. Lift Me Up. Rihanna's fine. This is an okay song, I guess. I didn't see this movie. I don't know if it was just a credit song or what, but I don't know. The only thing I got on this is, did you hear about the preacher from Michigan who almost died and then came back and said that in hell, he saw hell and they were playing Rihanna's Umbrella song over and over again to torture people? Which, number 1, that's a super catchy song. I kind of like that song. Number 2,
Ella,
yeah, lots of Ellas. And number 2,
That's all I know.
That's pretty much most of the song. And then the other part of it is, well, what's this preacher doing in hell?
Yeah.
He's maybe on the wrong path is what I'm thinking. But the song itself is just, I don't know. It's a big shrug. So those three songs I don't really care about. Not to was super fun.
Before you move on, let's address the pop songs.
Yeah,
Applause, I absolutely hate. Like the moment the song comes on and Sophia Carson starts singing, I just want to rip my hair out and scream because it's like maybe if I was 12 and it was in a Disney movie that I really liked, I'd have wanted to listen to it. But it has that terrible, super produced, super we're going to get everything just right feel to it. And it has no emotion to it whatsoever. Like no real emotion. Just this is what you're supposed to do. So this is how you write a pop song. So that's right. Follow that formula. There's no originality to it. And then Lady Gaga, I don't care about Lady Gaga one way or the other. She's perfectly fine. But this was, it was so boring and again, unoriginal. It kind of made me feel like they were trying to capture the magic of Whitney Houston's "And I Will Always Love You," because they had the silence and then the big snare hit and then she hits the big note and then starts singing like 4 times in the song. So it just had that. It had that trope, but it just didn't have the magic of that song. Again, maybe if I was 12, and pining for The Bodyguard or whatever, then that would be one thing. But it didn't do anything for me. Now, the Rihanna song I actually kind of liked. It took a little bit, but I liked its old timey feel. I felt like she was I'm not piloting, but whatever the person who operates the gondola and then sings to the couple, I kind of felt like she was doing that in this song. It kind of had that feel like old Europe, old timey singing, and I don't know. I kind of liked it in the end, but it wasn't anything great either. Like compared to the other two, that's the way I felt about it. It was the good one of the pop songs.
All right, what you got, Zach, on the pop songs?
Yeah, you guys pretty much nailed everything. I feel the same way. The Applause song was just really boring and annoying in the way that the way that it was sung. Right after listening to it, I was like, What did I just listen to? I don't even remember. The same way for the Lady Gaga, it just didn't really hit me in any way. And yeah, from something like Top Gun, where the original Top Gun had so many iconic songs, not just the Berlin one, but also like the Kenny Loggins and stuff like that. It was, that soundtrack was like more popular than the movie in some ways for some people. But yeah, I did like the Rihanna one the best of these three. It wasn't quite as striking as some of the songs from the first Black Panther movie it was like I think Kendrick Lamar and The Weeknd did a lot of those songs. And so when I first heard about this, I kind of got excited because I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be kind of like that. And then I listened to it. I was like, well, not quite, but at least it has some redeeming qualities to it, and it's more palatable than those other two.
Yeah, and the other thing that I noticed, these are all very positive and uplifting songs. And what message are we trying to teach children right now? That, I have spent 4 decades trying to accept the fact that I'm not that great. And I've become very comfortable with that. And I've come to a place in my life where I'm, and I don't need to give myself an applause. Why would I need that? I'm fine being mediocre. I haven't done anything amazing. I mean, this podcast, obviously.
Yeah.
But
well, clearly, low self-esteem was not one of your big problems that you need to work on.
but I've accepted that I am completely average, and that is perfectly fine. And we don't need to be telling children that they should be applauding themselves when they haven't done anything.
That's the problem with kids today.
Everybody gets a participation award, though. So
dumb.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being average, and we need to allow kids to be okay with being average.
Yeah, they shouldn't think that they have to put themselves or things up on a pedestal to be accepted or whatever.
Well, I think that some kids need to be lifted up, and some kids need to shut the fuck up. That's what I think. As the only non-parent here, I believe I have the final word because I'm more objective.
Do some kids need to have their hands held?
I'm not going to hold anybody's hand.
By Lady Gaga.
Much less a child. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's move on to the more interesting stuff. So, Not To. I absolutely loved this one. It's so much fun. I don't know what the hell they're saying, but it's so much fun. We were listening to it in the car, and the boys were singing along to it and pepping around and jumping around, and it's just a fun song. Like I would be totally okay with this winning the awards or the award for best song.
Yeah, I agree. This is probably my favorite of the 5. I wish they had dubbed it in English because, I want to understand the words that are being said. And I'm being facetious when I say that, of course, because I think it has a lot of character, and I love that I don't know what they're saying throughout the whole thing. It makes it more interesting. I do personally enjoy the Nacho version of this song,
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't understand how that is a thing. As far as I can tell, they're the exact same lyrics, only they say nacho instead of natu.
That's the one where they interpret it for your pleasure because they're just about making nachos. That's what the other song is really about.
And that's all I need. It made me happy about nachos. And honestly, that was probably when I made a Google Play or a Google YouTube Music, whatever it is now, playlist with these songs, and then it auto plays into something similar, and then the next song was Nacho. Like, what the hell just happened?
You're probably really confused.
I was so confused. Like, how did Weird Al get a hold of this fast?
Already? Yeah.
But it's fun, and it's
It was really fun. It was different, and it's not music I normally listen to, but it was invigorating. Unlike the first 3 songs we talked about, it was just it's a lot of rhythms and repetition. I think they said "natu" about 8 million times in the song. That's okay.
Does anyone know what "natu" means? I mean, don't look it up if you don't, because I don't want to know. I more want to know if anyone does know.
That cannot even be known, Dave. I'm sure we can look it up.
I don't need to know. I'm perfectly happy not knowing. Just
it makes me more interested in the movie itself. I'm curious. It's just a big Bollywood action movie as far as I can tell, based on like the thumbnails and stuff. But I have
it's
no
on
idea.
Netflix. I plan on watching it at some point just to see what the heck is going on, because it's apparently gotten a lot of good reviews. But I am curious if the Nacho one is just something that some person randomly came up with, or if it's actually like part of the movie or part of the soundtrack or something.
Well, I don't know if you watched the video that I put in the chat, but it looks like it's straight out. I mean, not straight out of the movie, but maybe all filmed simultaneously with the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Bollywood seems to love musical numbers in their movies, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just all burst into a song and dance number to this song at some point in the film. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in watching it as well.
And, I mean, it's listed on the track listing for the soundtrack,
so it's got to be maybe it's featured in the movie.
So our last song that we haven't talked about yet, if you guys are done with Natu, is "This Is a Life" by Son Lux featuring Mitski and David Byrne. This felt like the most appropriate end credit song. It wasn't a pop song. It was a little slower, more slow pace, and didn't hit all those pop beats. I liked it. It wasn't invigorating like Not To, but I think I like this song. Certainly, I would say it's between this one and Not To as my favorite of the five that we talked about. What did you guys think?
For me, this one was just a little bit better than the Rihanna song. I didn't hate it. I didn't find it particularly interesting though either. So.
I've been a big fan of Sunlux for a while now, and they have a lot of good songs and a lot of variety to their style. And in fact, it's really hard to put them into a style because it's kind of all over the place. It's mostly electronic, but there's other things going on too. And I was excited when I heard that Sunlux was doing the soundtrack for Everything Everywhere All at Once, including this song, and they did the score as well. And then I listened to it. I was like, well, this is not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. And this song in particular, with David Byrne in there, that should be fun. Well, it doesn't quite do the things that I would expect it to do. And so for me, it's a little bit of a letdown, but I would say it is probably the one out of all these ones besides Not To that I would actually want to listen to again, regularly or outside of listening for this particular podcast.
Yeah, so those are the actual 5 songs that were nominated. But I know, Zach, you had I don't know if it was on the short list, but you had a one you would love to slot in for, I would imagine, one of the pop songs.
Yeah, so they released the short list before they released the actual nominations, and I think it was 10 songs or 12, something like that. And I listened to all of them, and just to get kind of an idea of what was coming. And the song by LCD Sound System called "New Body Rumba," it didn't really strike me that much when I first listened to it, other than I knew instantly that I was listening to the playlist without paying attention to it. And I knew instantly when that song came out, I was like, hey, this is LCD Sound System, because that's just how they sound, And then like a few days after that, I started watching White Noise, which is the new Noah Baumbach movie that's on Netflix with Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig. And I was fairly certain that this movie was going to be nominated, one of the 10 nominations for Best Picture. So that was the big reason why I was watching it, since, and I'm also kind of a fan of all those people involved. And when it got to the end, right before the credits, this song started playing while the whole family is going and shopping in this a grocery store. And there was just something so perfect about that, like 7.5 minutes or almost 8 minutes of them doing their thing and everybody in this grocery store dancing and stuff. And it just struck me in such a way that I was like, wow, that song is really good. The song is really good, and the scene is really good, though, like the way that they're using it, all the choreography. And Andre 3000 from Outkast is in there. He's also a character in the movie, but he's got this box of cookies, and it's just this generic white box with the word cookies on it. And he's doing this little shimmy type of dance thing. And it's so good. And then when I heard that the nominations were out and this one didn't make the list, I was just crushed because I really thought it had a good chance. Not just because of the me liking the song, but just because I think they used it in an interesting way. Whereas I don't think any of these songs, I mean, maybe Not To, that's part of the reason why I want to watch that movie, is see how they're using it. But I guarantee you the other 4, we know for a fact that Everything Everywhere is just the end credits one. And the 3 pop songs have to be that same way. If they're used at all.
Lady Gaga's is just a credit scene song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the other 2 movies, but that's what they sound like. That's where they play.
Yeah, and if they were used in the movie, I guarantee you it's not in a choreographed dance number in a grocery store. Right. So.
Yep. I watched White Noise a night or 2 ago. And I deliberately didn't listen to New Body Rumba before I watched it, just so I could feel the impact that you because you had mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, well I was going to watch that movie anyway. Maybe I'll watch it first. And LCD Sound System's a band took a long time to grow on me. Like they've been around, since mid 2000s, and I was kind of liked them, but didn't really get into them. But as I get older, I start to enjoy it more. I'm not sure why. It just does this simple thing, and they do it. This is like vintage LCD sound system where they start with a simple beat and then slowly expand it out. And like the songs tend to be longer, and it just sort of, I don't know, it's an interesting thing. And it fit very well in that whole sequence you were describing. And that's what's, as you say, and Dave, you mentioned this too, the integration into the movie is much more valuable to me. And I can think of three good examples just off the top of my head when I was listening to this list. One is the movie A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga, because the song Shallow is a song they worked on and wrote in the movie. It's like important in the movie. Same with the movie Once.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. The song that they wrote, I can't quite remember. Falling Slowly, I think. It's a song they write and perform during the movie, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then the third example I thought of was the movie Coco with Remember Me, where it's an integral plot point. Like that's how you incorporate songs into movies where it matters. Just tacking it on the end is just, I don't know. It's just really unoriginal. And then
it feels lazy.
If they're going to do that,
it's just trying to get another category at the Academy Awards. That's all it is. This film was nominated for 1,000 awards, and one of them is because it had a pop song tagged on at the end.
Exactly, and maybe to get sort of a crossover, like people that like the song on the radio might go see the movie, or if you like the movie, you might buy, the song or whatever. But I really like it much more when they integrate it. And, Natu is the only likely one where it's an actual part of it. And even if it's just like the movie's over now, let's do a dance number to this song. But like, that's better than, we need a song for the credits. Let's just have someone write a song that's vaguely related and tack it on.
Yeah. I can't even, honestly, I can't remember if the New Body Rumba in White Noise, were there credits going while it was playing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
They may have just started, but like it's the dance sequence at the end there, the choreographed sequence is like 6-7 minute song at least. So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's the entire run of the song, and the song's about, I think, 7 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that.
The video you shared, Zach, said that it was a clip from the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe it was a slight crossover to the credits beginning, but basically it was the last sequence of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else on Oscar's song? It sounds like we all kind of agree that Natu is the one that we're thinking should maybe win this thing.
Yeah, I definitely think that it should be the one to win. I wouldn't be upset if This Is a Life won, and I would understand if Lift Me Up won. But if the other two win, well, it just proves that I know nothing about the Oscars.
Well, let's have predictions then. I'm going to predict Hold My Hand wins because she's the biggest performer, arguably, other than maybe Rihanna, and it was a huge movie, Top Gun Maverick. So I'm going to predict that one wins, but I think Natu should win.
I think Natu will win, and that's what I want to win.
I think Lift Me Up is going to win, but I'd prefer if Natu won. All
right, so there's a good chance we'll all be happy or all disappointed. Because this is important to me, so I really care.
Check in for the follow-up episode of this that we will probably never record.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
That's it.
I caught it on audio.